Recorded in the pits of Detroit, Michigan. Your ass is listening to Radio Underground. Shit.
Radio Underground, welcome back, faithful listeners that are now up to 103.
We broke 100?
Yeah, 103.
Oh my gosh.
We're fucking taking over. I told you we would. You just got to give us time.
We didn't even have to do the blood sacrifice or anything.
Nope, not at all.
I was looking up spells and everything for that, and guess I don't need to.
Yeah, I'm just willing to sell out to the man. That was easy. That is easy.
It's super easy.
Actually, I don't even have to eat the mic. It seems okay.
I'm eating it a little bit.
That's fine, though. I can fix that in post. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
All right. This week, we're going to be a little bare bones. It's me, Lord Deathspit. I got Pine with me. It's just the two of us. So I'm not going to have Kojak's aggravation or Stones to kind of rely on when I feel like being quiet. So it's going to be weird.
We're just a duo, a pair, if you will, this week.
Well, that's how we started out. This is what we were originally.
Yeah.
Okay, so this week we had a couple topics we're going to talk about. I think, what do you want to start out with? It doesn't matter. I don't fucking know. Oh, yeah. Luke Perry died.
Yeah.
That guy made everyone's sister cream.
Yeah.
Like everybody our age, like all the women, it was their first crush.
And, yeah, we're around our age and a little bit older.
Yeah, he had a stroke, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, that 52 years old, man, that's weird.
Very healthy guy. He was avid like exerciser and all that.
Man,
I didn't
it's
see
just
that coming.
crazy. It's like, honestly, I obviously I wasn't much of a fan of him because I didn't watch 90210.
No, straight men tend not to be into the teeny bopper magazines back then.
The thing I remember seeing him in a few times was the times I watched the original Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie. He played Pike.
Yep.
He's named after a fish.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then more recently, because there's a show called Riverdale, and I've seen some episodes of that, and he was Archie's dad in that.
Yeah, I've never watched Riverdale, but...
it's not terrible, but it's CW, you know.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, so he's dead. King Kong Bundy, we did a wrestling episode a few weeks back, and...
I think that's probably the one that more pertains to us.
So we can go on that a little more. King Kong Bundy was 6'4", 458 pounds in his prime, so it's not a shocker that he died at 61, but still, he was actually a pretty funny guy. His shoot interviews were pretty hilarious.
Were you as shocked as I was to find out that he was only 61?
Yeah, I
because
figured he was about 70 or...
I figured about 70. He's 5 years younger than Hulk Hogan? That's just weird.
He must have broke in... Like, we were watching the YouTube, so it was 1982. I suck at math, but he was like a kid when he broke in.
They said
business.
he graduated... Yeah, the thing we watched said he graduated from high school in 1974. So he was 26 at that point? 20...
Yeah, he was a baby.
Yeah.
He was really young. Yeah, and... His shoot interviews are probably the best because he's one of the few people willing to actually shit on Andre the Giant a little bit. He felt Andre abused him and wasn't a nice man. He said his quote was, "Andre is a prick," or was a prick, rather.
Really?
And he goes, "I know you're not supposed to talk about the dead and this and that." He goes, if I have a coronary and you thought I was a prick, please say I was a prick.
Yeah, be honest, you know.
Yeah. He's like, there's no point. But I don't know if he had a coronary, but he had diabetes, and obviously
he was. Yeah, I guess unsurprisingly, unhealthy.
Yeah,
it's weird though. I was going back and I was trying to remember myself watching him wrestle, and I don't remember him wrestling at the same time as those other guys that I grew up enjoying, like Hogan and Piper and all those guys.
Stud.
Yeah, I just for some reason. When I think of that era, he just does not pop into my head.
He did to me for one main reason. He fucking literally had Ram Man's body.
He did from
like,
He-Man?
Ram Man from He-Man. The guy was built like Ram Man.
It's really weird. That video we saw, and it showed him with hair. That was a weird looking thing.
Yeah. He also kind of had the body of like Krang's body from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah,
like
with Krang in the stomach.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I know it's cruel, but it seems that was his body type.
No, that's absolutely correct. That's insane. I never thought of that.
Yeah, but whatever, man. He was kind of a genetic freak though, because his body, like, he was massively obese, but he didn't like jiggle. He looked kind of solid.
Solid.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of the way what's his name? Big Show is.
Yeah, exactly.
He's obviously heavy, but he doesn't look, sloppy. He's not jiggly.
No, he looked pretty solid.
Yeah.
Hillbilly Jim said about him that he said he didn't know why Chris, that was his real name. He goes, Chris should have went in the NFL because he was so fast for how big he was. He goes, he could sprint across the ring. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, why wasn't that dude an offensive lineman?
I don't know. He could have done it.
That's insane.
Because when he first broke in, he was at 450. He looked about 350, which is nose tackle range.
Yeah. Yeah.
6'4", 350. That's a nose tackle,
dude.
Oh,
yeah, if he's that quick, definitely. Yeah. It's just a weird thing with King Kong Bundy. I'm racking my brain, and I just don't remember watching any of his matches in the mid-'80s to late 80s. I don't remember him.
Yeah, there's some things like that. There's a lot of times in life I'll and I used to I don't have a lot of physical gifts, but I used to be able to remember entire conversations on specific days. I was almost like Rain Man.
Good luck now.
It's fucking gone. I don't I have people tell me oh, I was there with you that day. Like for instance, Jeff Deathery. I was telling him about that
the Hell in a Cell.
The Hell in a Cell. I didn't even know he was at. I don't even remember him being at my grandma's house.
I listened to that our last episode with him in it the whole week.
100% believe him. I just don't remember it.
And I'm in the same boat. I do not remember him being there.
But it's very possible.
He probably was.
No, it's not 100%. It probably was. We're fucking old.
Yeah, but that's what's pissing me off. I don't like not remembering things.
Yeah, I gotta wonder if it's is it because did I drink myself dumb? I might have drank myself dumb and not known it.
Maybe.
That's the first sign of Alzheimer's is you don't know that you're losing it.
Yeah.
But so right now we're okay because we're aware that there's a problem. But when I forget that shit and then don't care, then I guess I'm done.
I do it all the time. I'll think of something just before the show started. I'm like, ooh, that'd be a good thing to bring up. And I fucking can't remember it now. It was literally 13 minutes ago, and I can't remember what the fuck it was.
Well, dude, we've done entire episodes where I didn't get to the point that I wanted to get to start it out.
Well, I think part of my problem was I was into wrestling in the mid to late 80s, but not as much as probably you were. I mean, you watched all of them, but I was into it. But the people I liked or the people I remember are the same people that were on Rock and Roll Wrestling, the cartoon. So I think I equate everything to that. And King Kong Bundy wasn't on that cartoon as far as I can remember.
I don't remember him being on there.
So I guess maybe that's why. It's I remember Hillbilly Jim and Big John Studd and all these other guys, Junkyard Dog, but they were on the cartoon.
Speaking of wrestling, remember the guy we went to school with, and I don't want to say his name, but he owns a tattoo parlor here locally.
Yes.
And he was thinking about being a wrestler because he's a real big guy. Anyway, I didn't know this about him. Kojak was hanging out with him last night. He's a big listener. Mike is his first name. I'm not going to say his last name.
Cool.
But I guess Mike listens, and I guess I'm going to maybe get him on and ask him if he did actually. I heard rumors that he was trying to be a wrestler when he was younger. I'm going to ask him if he actually tried.
Yeah,
that was
definitely.
a rumor I heard because he's a big fucking guy.
Oh, man, we could have our first guest.
Well, I wanted to have him on because Kojak was talking to him, and Kojak was like, wouldn't it be a good idea to have him on and ask him about weird people he's tatted up? And I'm like, yeah, fuck. Because you got to think about if he's a tattoo artist, some of the weird requests he's had.
Yeah.
I won't say his business name because I don't want whatever. He probably don't want to talk about his customers, but we'll get him on and we'll ask him.
Wow. An actual guest.
He's a listener. I just thought it was cool that he, haven't heard of you. So, Mike, what's up, man? Thanks for listening.
It's kind of the same subject, but not the subject we were talking about before. Did you say we have a listener in Macedonia?
We do, and he's listened to all our episodes. I can track like how long people listen. I don't know, like obviously everyone's city and IP here locally. I don't know who the fuck's who, but the Macedonian guy, whoever he is listening. He's listened to all our episodes, even like the little the stupid bullshit that I put together with myself talking, telling one story. He listened to everything.
And the Deathry and Morgarath interviews?
He's listened to every single one.
That is crazy. And I wonder if maybe he's somewhere else and it's just routed through there, but why would it route through Macedonia of all places?
It's probably just a 4chan guy doing a bouncing IP.
I do want to say something else. Dan Carlin says it's either Macedonia or Macedonia.
Really?
Yeah, it could be either one. The translation might be wrong. It might actually be Macedonia.
What do the people there call it?
Not Mass. It's I mean, as far I don't think Mass. Oh no, it is its own country, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Now I heard they're like. I remember one guy that was from there.
Alexander the Great.
No, he was the drummer from Zook. Remember that guy?
Oh yeah,
his family was Macedonian, and he said they were kind of treated like dirty people in Europe.
Well, it's right by Albania, which a lot of people over there don't like Albanians and stuff. So,
yeah, I don't know the intertribal.
I don't
like. I know that the Eastern Europeans and Western Europeans think differently each other. They think the Western Europeans are viewed as passive and pussified, and by the Easterners, and then the Easterners are viewed as barbaric and tribal. But,
yeah,
but I don't know. I don't care.
It seems to be most of the hate. You're right. Eastern Europeans and Western Europeans don't like each other, but more Eastern Europe, it seems like a lot of those Slavic type countries, they don't like each other.
No, they do not.
It's crazy.
There's a lot of infighting and wars, and they're pretty. Especially the ones that were like Soviet. Like
yeah,
they're really aggressive. Like we don't want anybody here that ain't from here again because of that shit. So
yeah.
You can think about the Poland, man. The Polish were attacked by the Nazis and the communists both. They've had issues, so they're like, dude, just stay out. Everyone just leave me alone. And I get it. Poland, I get it.
Who else were we going to talk about who passed away? Oh, Keith Flint from Prodigy was another one who passed away today.
Not going to pretend to be a huge fan, but that Smack My Bitch Up is definitely a cultural thing that was big.
I was big into him for a little while. I bought when Fat of the Land came out, which was that album that had Firestarter, Breathe, Smack My Bitch Up. Had a couple other songs on it like Diesel Power and Minefields, and I loved the album. I had it on cassette tape when it came out, and then when that broke, I bought it on CD. And
cool.
I was really into it. And then, I turned 18 and 19. And I was like, I'm not into this anymore. But I still have it on my iPod and stuff. I still listen to it. I was a big fan for about a 2-year span there.
For some reason, I remember that the big dancer black guy was named Liam. Wasn't that his name?
No, Liam was the main guy.
Okay.
Liam was actually...
There I go with my shitty fucking memory again.
Liam was actually the original and only member of Prodigy. And actually, when they signed the record contract, he was the only one that signed it. When they signed with Madonna's record label, Maverick Records.
Oh, okay.
She's the one that put that album out. But when they signed, he was literally the only one that signed. And the other guys were he gave them money. But eventually they worked it out, more financially sound deal.
Right on. This is kind of off subject, but on. I told you I listened to the Del Rey Misfits.
Yes.
Their guy, Prince Andrew, who kind of is in my slot, he's kind of the recorder and he has the equipment and stuff, and he's not the biggest personality on the show, but he just basically my slot. He's
like the moderator.
Yeah, kind of like what I'm doing. He he goes, I'm in the video. Fatboy Slim praise you.
Really?
He's wearing a hoodie, and I was like, oh shit. And I went back and looked, and he was in a Fatboy Slim video. There's screenshots of him. So now his fans are shitting on him.
That's funny.
He's like, well, my friend is a producer for I guess his friend did the video, or was the guy that filmed the video, the actual, I don't know if the director, but something to do with the filming end. So you want to be in a Fatboy Slim video? He's like, sure. He goes, and now he goes, because their listeners are so fickle and make fun of you about anything. Doesn't matter what it is. He goes, I was hoping no one would ever figure it out, but fucking someone sure as hell did. You know, here I am standing there with my hoodie and I'm dancing and it's horrible.
You're dancing too. Yeah. At least if you're just standing there, you can be like, "Oh, I just was standing there," but you're actually dancing.
Well, he's not really dancing, I guess, but he's trying. And of course, Big Lenny, the guy that makes fun of everybody's like, "Oh, you're a cookie cutter," because that's a big term for anybody that likes anything. You're a cookie cutter. You're not allowed to like anything, according to Big Lenny.
That's weird because we have a couple of friends who ended up in a music video too for the Kid Rock. Kojak, Chris,
Chaos. Yeah, they were in it. Yeah,
that's weird. It's funny. The only time you can really see Chris that I remember is you see the back of him and he's taller than the people around him.
Yeah,
and that was pretty much it.
Because Chris is a tall guy, so
yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Kojak's very average height, so he was not going to stand out in any crowd.
Well, that's where, remember, Kojak got the security jacket from that. He stole it from the set.
Yeah, he stole it, and then he brought it to our show when our band was playing.
We were in a band.
And he pretended to be our security guy.
But he wore a big, huge black afro at one point, too.
Yeah, he had it the whole time.
Oh, yeah, that's
he had
right.
the black afro, then he's like, move it back! He's doing acting like we had to have people like restrained because our show was so off the hook.
Well, I mean, there was probably 50 people at that show.
At least.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was actually a good show. It was a fun show.
Is that the Halloween show?
Yep, it was.
Oh, I was dressed like a nun.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That is a good show. There's video of YouTube. It's one of the ones I have on our Radio Underground channel because I just put it out. I didn't even know what YouTube was. I was just like, I want to get this video so I could share it on, at the time, MySpace.
Yes, I've heard of that.
And, well, it was the beer is good thing. And I guess we could talk about this whole thing.
Yeah, how people send us threatening messages.
You guys are fucking ripping off Psycho Stick. And we made that song. Now, I'll admit, you got to admit when you're weirding out about things, I was paranoid, and I thought that like they somehow stole it because a guy that recorded us doing it also lived in Phoenix.
Yeah.
Or he
moved to Phoenix soon after.
Yeah. And he had our video, and he played that song, and I'm like, those motherfuckers were from Phoenix, I guess. Psycho
yeah,
Stick.
they're from that, yeah.
So I thought that they were, like, I was paranoid that everyone was, like, out to steal our great ideas. I was fucking an idiot, but whatever.
There was people that left comments on it saying, on the YouTube video saying we stole it.
Before that, though.
Oh, yeah,
I thought, like, everybody was out to take our ideas and make
well,
money.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, but anyway, when I came back down to Earth years later and just put it up for fun, the people were like, then I got re-paranoid again. I'm like, I invented this. We did.
That was,
me.
Our song came out 5 years before the Psycho Stick song.
Our song was simply called Beer is Good. Their song is called The Beer Song.
Yeah.
And it does the beer is good. Beer is
There's
good.
some similarities, but
the verse is nothing.
No.
The chorus is the only thing similar.
We broke up in 2001.
Yeah.
Their song didn't come out till like 2005 or 6, I believe.
So I'm trying to argue that point and I just sound like a liar. And I'm like, we're not stealing fucking their shit. And I had to fight back. They're stealing our stuff. Nobody stole our stuff. It's a simple idea, and it was similar. We never made any fucking money off of it, so it doesn't matter.
No, we lost money on pretty much everything.
So I have a lot of regrets. We had other songs up that were pretty good, and I took them down. And I don't have any copies of them. And I took them all down. Like, they're going to steal more of our things. So now those songs are just gone forever. Whatever. But I was always...
But yeah, Prodigy died.
Yeah, he died.
Is that all who died? Oh, do you remember Yamaguchi's son from WWE? The Asian.
Yeah, I do.
He just died a little while, like a couple hours ago.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah, he was only 61 also. It's weird.
And Asian people live forever, so that's basically dying at 30.
That's not even racist. That's true.
They live forever. They don't die.
It's true.
Speaking of not dying, Shadows die twice. I'm going to get that game too.
That was the one you were watching when I came in, right?
Yeah. Anything that Hidetaka I can't think Miyazaki. Anything he makes, I'm buying.
That's something else I wanted to talk about because I instantly, when you hear Miyazaki, you're thinking of your games, Dark Souls, Bloodborne, whatever it might be. When I hear Miyazaki, that's the last name of the guy who made all the Studio Ghibli anime movies like Spirited Away and all these Howl's Moving Castle. They have the same last name. They're both ultra creative people, and they're not related.
Weird.
It's like,
but isn't that name be like Washington or Smith over there?
I guess so. Yeah.
Kind of like, I can't think of another Japanese name, but kind of like some Jap name. Where Bill Parcells Jap
Yamaguchi.
Plays. Yamaguchi, yeah. Christina Yamaguchi.
That's weird because actually this guy was also 61 years old, just like King Kong Bundy.
You got Yoko Ono and Apollo Ono, so that's common too.
They're not spelled the same.
Oh
no,
never mind.
I think Apollo Ono is like OHNO. It's like literally oh no.
Wasn't he part Japanese though?
He's some Asiatic area.
Thing. Yeah.
But it's two WWE people in the same week that were both 61. Conspiracy.
Yeah, it's like the 61 death curse.
It's like it's like the curse of Roger Maris.
Yeah, 61 home runs.
It makes sense.
He didn't get an asterisk. Hank Aaron did because he was black. But I don't know, man. I looked at the game and I first lied to myself. I'm not buying this fucking game because there's no multi-player component. Then I remember I don't play with anybody anymore. And I looked at the game and it's I thought it was going to be wholly different, like completely different. It is 80% the same, which is to me is good.
Yeah.
It looks like a Souls universe to me, which okay, that puts me right back in line. I'm going to buy it. The thing is, like I was explaining to you with that Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, we're talking about, you can leap onto things, you can climb, you can kind of wall walk with your hands, where you shimmy over, kind of like, I don't know, like a ninja, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's not, it's different in that you can, you can pendulum and do different kinds of rope tactics and swing and shit like that. So, and when you fall, you're not necessarily... That's a big thing I was telling you about that.
Yes.
You die by falling a lot in Dark Souls. It's not necessarily over when you fall. You can shoot that fucking, like, batarang. What is that Batman thing?
Yeah,
You could save yourself by shooting it out. And
it's like a grappling hook type...
Yeah.
With a spear on a rope type thing that saves you.
And you can save yourself. So that's a big thing because there's nothing worse when you play Dark Souls and you fall or you get hit. I probably died more by falling than anything at Dark Souls. So that's a big.
It just sounds so hard.
It's really hard. There's no character customization either. You got to play as that guy, but that's so they can get the story narrative in. So you can't be like, okay, this one I'm gonna be a fucking pyromancer, or I'm going to be a warrior, or I'm going to be a knight. You have to be him.
The one you're talking about, the Sudoku, or
I don't know how to say it.
I don't know how to say it.
We are a real learned fucking video game podcast.
It's let's just call it Shadows Strike Twice.
Die, isn't it?
Die Twice?
Shadows Die Twice.
I don't even know the name of the game.
Doesn't matter.
It's been like an hour and a half since I watched it.
Hidetaka's making it and I'm buying it. That's the bottom line.
Yeah. It's it looks cool. I actually like the way it looks.
Yeah, those games are real pretty games, man.
They are. And you said he was talking about wanting to do a battle royale?
He is. And I don't know how that'll work, but he made it clear when he made Dark Souls 3, he goes, I'm done with Dark Souls. I just want to do different shit. and everyone's like screeching like me, just like that very noise.
Well, I don't know if you're like me, but I've only played one battle royale. I never played one before Apex Legends.
Me either.
But that sounds pretty interesting because the guy obviously has some kind of some high level of imagination.
Oh, he's got a fantastic imagination. When he was making Demon Souls at the time, he went all to Europe because he's like, you know how people hear weeboos, white people who are obsessed with anime?
Yes.
He's the opposite. He was obsessed with medieval European stuff.
That was one of the things I read about him was he's really into Gothic architecture and stuff like that.
Yeah, so he's like a reverse weeboo.
Okay.
And he's really into all that shit. And
that's different.
Yeah, exactly. It's why. But he made a better sword and shield game than any Westerner, in my opinion. It's the best there is. Dark Souls just sucks you in, and you just don't want to play anything else. I'm telling you, it's just a fucking great game. But so he's talking about the battle royale. I'll get back on topic here.
Yeah.
I have no idea what he could possibly be doing, but it'll be good because the guy doesn't make crap. His worst game is Demon Souls, and it was the worst because it was his first, and he was like finding his stride. And I played it before they killed the servers to it, and it was still hard to like connect with people, and it was really like not polished. But you could see, like, it still had a genius to it. And now if you beat it, you really are a badass because there's no possible way to get help. You just have to do it alone.
I know you guys have talked those games up. It's just, I don't know if I have the patience to play it more than 5 minutes.
Well, see, there's the Dark Souls, especially now that the remastered is out. Not the original, but the remastered.
Yes.
It wouldn't be hard because you could play it with us, and we could basically piggyback you and just carry you through it.
I know. I'm lazy.
Yeah. But if you tried to like play it alone, because you're like me, I like video games. I'm an enthusiast, but I'm still only casual. I don't dump hundreds of hours into things typically.
Oh God, no.
I dump time into them, but not like. But with Dark Souls, I probably played the first one just to beat it. Like, there's people that do speed runs that are so ridiculous. My first playthrough probably took. I'm just being honest, and it's horrible. It probably took me 150 hours to beat that fucking game.
Holy shit!
Because I just sucked. I didn't know what I was doing. There was no help. I didn't even really look anything up online. I just want to beat this. I had one fight where I had help. It was the last guy, Gwyn, and I saw a summon sign, and I picked up some random guy, and he helped me beat the last boss. But it's not even that hard. Like, looking back, I thought I tainted my victory, but it's not. It's the last boss. It's not the hardest boss at all. It's the last boss in that game, but it's not hard. The hardest boss to me is fucking Sif the Wolf, and it's fucking hard. I don't care what anyone says. That I probably died fucking 50 times before I beat that.
Holy crap.
Because it's a 30-foot long wolf that is probably 10, 12 foot at the shoulder. And he can sprint. Okay, so you're in a contained area fighting like almost like a ring, almost like a. It's not. There's no stand. There's no one viewing it, but it's about the size of like a matador ring. Okay.
Okay.
And Sif can jump the length of it, like in a split second, and you have to learn his timing,
the pattern,
and then he has a giant sword in his mouth that he swings with his head.
The wolf has a sword in his mouth?
Yes. Of his owner, Artorias.
Oh.
And it's fucking hard.
It sounds hard.
When I beat it, I creamed. Because I beat it finally. I was so happy that was like the hardest thing I ever beat. But yeah,
I forgot what I was going to say about him now. Miyazaki.
But Battle Royale, I don't know what he's got planned. I don't know. I just don't think he's going to stay in his lane. I think it'll be Sword somehow. Because I just don't see him doing a shooter.
He's not going to do an Apex Legends Fortnite type thing.
No. He's not a shooter guy. Bloodborne, you have a gun, but it's like an old musket like type thing.
Yeah.
Blunderbuss kind of thing. But I don't see him doing like, hey, this is a shooter. But a Sword and Shield Battle Royale, I don't know. Whatever the guy makes, it's going to be great, guaranteed.
You mentioned the speed runs for Dark Souls.
Yep.
And there was a case where a guy made a speed run through the game. I don't remember which Dark Souls it was, but he did it without getting hit.
Yeah, it was part 3. And
Miyazaki said, that dude's a liar, basically. He said there's no way he got through the whole game without taking a hit.
Well, the thing is, I tend to believe Miyazaki, but the guy it's on YouTube, the whole thing.
Yes.
He has his whole run on YouTube, and people went over it with a fine-tooth comb. And to this day, everybody validates, people watch it. The dude did it.
Yeah, and the interview I read where he said that was a couple years old. Maybe he's come to the realization that it was real. But that was a few years ago.
Well, you got to remember, too, like, the guys that create these games, they probably can't, they make, in his mind, I'm making the toughest game I possibly can. And he can't wrap his head around beating it with his ability that way as a player. The guy that creates it has a certain level of ability. But he's not thinking about these absolute fucking autists that can play these games.
These savants.
Yeah, these savants, these fucking wizard kids.
Yes.
And I watched about an hour of that guy's playthrough. Not the whole thing, I watched an hour.
How long is it?
I don't remember.
Holy crap.
I don't remember, but I watched an hour of his play, and he was doing counts, like 2, 3, 4, because every boss does certain movements in a certain way, and he was doing 2, 3, 4 with his stamina bar. He goes 1, 2, 3. He knew like how many hits. Like, that's not a savant thing. I should know that as a player. I have no idea how many strikes I got to do before my fucking stamina goes out. I have no clue. It's not, but this guy, everything he does, 2, 3 step. He's like counting off his steps, his stamina bar, everything. He's not the whole time, but here and there so he's one of these numbers guys, like a card counter.
He's totally Rain Manning that shit.
Yeah. And he's this like genius fucking Indian Pakistani looking guy, and he's the best player I've ever seen by far, this guy.
That's crazy.
And now he beat the dancer, which I hate that boss fight. I always fucking get the shit beat out of me. And he beat it so easily. I'm like, dude, like, I don't compare to this guy in any way. And I've played 200 hours of Dark Souls 3 at least, and nothing. There's no way. Like, I can't beat the first boss without getting hit. I can beat it without dying easily right now. I can beat it no problem. But I can't beat it without getting fucking hit. I don't know. It's amazing.
I'll have to check out that speed run later on. Check it out because
it's ridiculous.
I know next to nothing about the game. What I know about the game is from you and Kojak, and that is it.
Yeah, that dude is absolutely amazing, and I know he does. The creator Miyazaki doesn't want to believe that it didn't happen, but it did, because people go through that. They make sure they're gonna. If he didn't do it, some other guy that maybe he's been hit once or twice trying to beat it that didn't do it himself is going to be, oh, look, I got it right there. You know?
Yeah. They're
not going to just accept that someone did what they couldn't.
Yeah. Like I said, maybe Miyazaki was in denial at first, but maybe he realized that dude ain't lying.
It's on YouTube. You can see it. And I seen a guy doing PvP, where you're playing other people on the PC. Dark Souls, the first Dark Souls, beating people one-handed, no mouse, just his keyboard.
What?
And winning fight after fight after fight, just his keyboard, no mouse, and he had a camera on his hand. So I don't know how he had it like routed, like the whatever, but he had a fucking camera on his hand, and it was one hand, and I don't know that he won every fight that he was in, against other players, but he was winning all the ones I was watching. Amazing.
I don't know how people can play games with a keyboard.
Well, I was telling you earlier, we were talking about the fucking Manowar concert and the people who are crying. I wish I liked anything at all that much.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be as miserable as I am if there was something that I liked that much. I wouldn't be so miserable.
Those people were crying because of Manowar, the band.
Yeah, I was watching that video, and look, dude, I'm not trying to shit on the band. Hey, man, you guys are over. You're over as fuck. You got your fans, but I don't like anything that much.
There had to have been 100,000 people at that Manowar show.
Yes, it's the Warriors of the World song.
It was crazy.
So there's 100,000 people in the crowd. It's a total, like, people crying, hot chicks creaming, singing the song.
So happy to see Manowar.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite word, creaming. I keep saying it. I think just every woman creams when they, about anything but me, they just cream.
Cream.
But yeah, dude, the rest of the video, and they're just, these people are absolutely, it's like Beatlemania, but it's Manowar.
Yeah.
And they're like crying, and they're like, I don't know, man. Props to them.
But like you said, you wish you had that much, you're into something that much, you love something that much, where you became so emotional. I agree.
That I cried when I did it. But there's nothing that makes me that excited.
Those people take that passion for keyboards, playing games old school on just keyboards with a mouse too, and they perfect it. I guess that's what that guy did.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of that would get me truly excited to the point where I would really be amped up close to that is if maybe like Wonder Woman Gal Gadot said she would blow me. And even then I wouldn't cry. I guarantee you, I'm not crying. And that's as close as you're going to get to me to that level. Like that's probably because I'm so obsessed with that woman.
She's good looking.
She replaced Elizabeth Shue. I used to
Oh
always.
God, I loved Elizabeth Shue.
And like Elizabeth Shue is probably my all-time biggest favorite. Actually, I can't really cheat on her that way and say that. But man, I can't even like fucking watch Cocktail without getting a little bit like heart rate raise. She always did it for me because she was super fucking cute. Not like model gorgeous, but just so cute. I just fucking I just loved her. Fucking it all started with the Karate Kid, man.
Karate Kid, absolutely.
Go ahead.
And then the second
Keep talking about
Cocktail would have been after that. But then she took over as the role of Jennifer in Back to the Future 2 and slightly in Back to the Future 3. But there's always been something about Elizabeth Shue. Like Adventures in Babysitting, where, she was babysitting and went on adventures. And they did the thing where it's like, man, you look just like Miss March or whatever it was in the Playboy. And it was actually her posing for fake photos. She wasn't naked or anything. But it's like, yeah, it does look just like you. But it was actually Elizabeth Shue posing as this woman that looked like her character.
Oh, okay. I
She
remember
was
that
so
movie.
Hot. Loved her.
D'Onofrio was in shape.
Yeah, he played Thor.
Yeah, he was in shape back then.
He played, and that was weird because he filmed that, and then within 6 months or something, he was doing Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, he got fat.
And he got fat. He got in shape and then put on all the weight afterwards.
Which is unfortunate because when I shaved my head and I was fat, all the black guys on my football team, Darrell and Glenn and Jerome.
What
And that's not. I'm not saying those names.
Those are their actual
They were
names.
actual names.
Yes.
And they started laughing hysterically when I shaved my head and came in, and they said I looked like Pyle.
Private Pyle.
I'm like, come on, guys. And I thought it was maybe a thing like where we think Asians look the same. Like, come on. And then like I saw like a picture of myself. Like,
It's like, oh
oh yeah,
fuck.
they're right. They're not even being racist.
Full Metal
They're being
Jacket.
100% true. I did look like him.
I was going to watch that movie recently because it's a good movie. It really is. And I was like getting ready to watch it. I'm like, it's a really well-made movie. It's a good movie. But man, is it depressing.
Oh God, it's horrible.
It's horrible. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to watch that or not. It's like, I don't feel like being in a bad mood watching a movie. So I didn't watch it.
Oh, you're gonna bring that? You got me thinking about Radio Flyer.
Oh yeah, we said we were going to talk about sad movies. Well, one more thing about Full Metal Jacket is the sniper scene.
Yeah, tell the sniper. I got to piss.
Okay, you do that.
My nephew beat me there.
So the sniper scene, if you watch Full Metal Jacket, there's a part where they're basically the sniper's picking them off, and they're up against a wall around the corner from the sniper. And they're just sitting there talking. They're not really doing anything. One of the guys got shot. I think a couple of the guys got shot, but they can't really save any of them. The whole brigade, platoon, whatever they are, is just hanging out by this wall, trying to figure out a way to get to this sniper that's up in the building. This is a Stanley Kubrick movie, and he made like The Shining, and he made Spartacus, which is older, but The Shining, Full Metal Jacket. He's made a bunch of stuff. He's 2001. He made 2001. But this one scene with the sniper trying to pick them off, they're by a wall, and they could not get it right. They fucking shot that 2-minute scene for 2 fucking weeks. You know what scene I'm talking about, where they're hanging out, they're by the wall, and the sniper's up in the building picking them off, and they're just trying to figure out how they're going to get into the building to get the sniper.
That scene took 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Wow.
Kubrick was kind of a madman. There's a scene in The Shining where Jack Nicholson crosses the street near the beginning of the movie. Just crosses the street. They did the same scene like 80-something times to get it right.
You got to wait till it's perfect.
Yeah. It's just a crazy dude. But Full Metal Jacket's just a movie. I love it. It was a really good movie. When I was a teenager in my early 20s, I watched it a bunch. And I want to watch it, and I was like,
oh, dude,
I don't want to be bummed out.
Yeah, I've gone soft, man. As I'm now older, I can't watch things that make me sad or scare me. I don't like that feeling anymore. I don't like to be fucking down or freaked out. I just don't enjoy it.
If it's a movie, especially if it's a movie I haven't seen, but if it's a movie I've seen before and there's not jump scares but like some tension, I'm okay with that. I'm not a horror movie guy, which we've talked about before on the podcast. The old ones that are cheesy, fine. I'll watch Halloween. I'll watch a Friday the 13th or something because, man, they're cheesy. They can be really cheesy. But like, I'm not watching Saw.
Fuck no.
I don't watch like The Conjurings or these other new movies that came out. But something that's like tension, like A Quiet Place where they're not talking, but you know something's going to happen. It's a thriller type thing.
Yeah.
You're waiting for something to happen. It's some tension. Even that a little bit though. I can't really watch too much of it.
No,
But sad movies. Oh man, I don't want to watch any sad movies.
Sad movies are even worse because they they stay burned in your brain.
You talked about Radio Flyer.
I can't handle that fucking movie.
I still don't know how that kid flew away in that plane.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to that. But I watched that movie when it came out. I went to the theater, Roseville Theater up here.
Yeah.
And I saw it like 3 or 4 times. For whatever reason, I saw it with different people that wanted to see it. That's just how I would see, like, Wayne's World was another one I watched a bunch of times because a different person wanted to watch it each time, and fuck it, I'll go. And when I saw, like, the trailer for it, I mean, looking back on it now, I know what they were going for, but I kind of thought it was just going to be like a
coming-of-age adventure.
A coming-of-age, like, Forrest Gump-type kids movie.
Yeah.
Fucking, I go to watch it, dude, and And it's about a guy that abuses a kid until he kills him.
No,
That is horrific.
He flew away.
Yeah,
he got
like-
away, and Tom Hanks is waiting for him later on.
Well, that's the thing. Because I saw that movie when I was young. I think it came out in 92.
I believe you're absolutely right.
So I was 13. I was dumb enough and so traumatized by the abuse that happened that I forced myself. So the director did a good job. The guy that was the director,
Yeah.
it worked because I was hitting puberty, but I was still a kid in my mind mentally. And I thought, oh yeah, Bobby got away. But when I was about 16 or 17, I saw it again on VHS. And I'm like, oh my God.
He didn't get away at all. It's just the older brother's way of coping with it.
Yeah, way with coping. Oh yeah, Bobby flew away to heaven
He
because his ass
did.
got killed.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, that now because of that movie, I can't even watch the trailer without choking up. Because he started teasing me and I couldn't get away. I'm like, I just started like, I can't take it.
I like to go back and watch some of those movies with my kids and stuff and just get their reaction to it. And most of the time they like the movies I'll make them watch. They liked Forrest Gump. It was long, and I think they got kind of bored at points, but they liked Forrest Gump. Real Genius is Donovan's watched with me a bunch of times.
That's a phenomenal movie.
Just a lot of the old movies I'll go back and watch. He loves Bill and Ted, both of them.
Prime Val Kilmer with his arrogance.
Yeah.
Great.
And I thought about watching Radio Flyer with him, and then I was like, no.
I don't know, man.
They probably, they're we don't sugarcoat anything. Like, if we watch a movie, we explain to the kids afterwards if they have, we don't say, oh, no, everything was great. Don't worry about it.
But by the way, those two horrifically sad movies we both talked about, Adam Baldwin's in both.
Which other one did we talk about? Radio Flyer and
Full Metal Jacket. He's
yeah,
Animal Mother.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and he's a big motherfucker, dude. I didn't know he was like 6'5".
He's another one of those guys. He's been in all kinds of stuff, but I only remember him in like three things.
And Ricky Linderman.
And then he was. I know you probably didn't watch it, but he was in the TV show Firefly, and then the
Independence Day.
He was independent. Oh yeah, I guess he's in a lot more stuff than I remember.
Well, it dawned on me though, like how big he was when he made Independence Day because he was standing next to Jeff Goldblum and they're the same height.
Jeff Goldblum's like 6'9". No, he's not, but he's like 6'5" or something.
Yeah, and they're about the same.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck, dude, Baldwin's big.
My Bodyguard. Holy crap. Remember that? The whole movie, everything, the fight scenes, everything were set to like classical music.
Yeah, it was a weird movie.
It was good, though.
But it was one of those things like, it was the most deserved beating in fucking movie history.
That dude was like 26, trying to fight like high schoolers.
Yeah, I know. He goes like, hey, Mike. So fucking Matt Dillon, perfect asshole, perfect guy for that role. He's not an asshole in real life, but I mean, he played an asshole perfectly.
Yeah.
And just the absolute slithering worminess of that character, Moody.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to fuck with people, and the minute someone pushes back, I'm going to get even more sadistic.
Oh, my God. It was a very good movie that I don't hear a lot of people talking about nowadays.
So the guy that plays Mike, Hank Salas, I just know because I've seen the fucking IMBD or whatever.
Yeah.
And that guy was honestly fucking close to 30. And he was beating up, in theory, junior high. They weren't even high school. Junior high kid.
Oh, that's right. Ricky was really big for his age.
Yeah, so he was like 14. And
that's even more impressive then.
Yeah, so fucking Ricky snaps. When he sees his own blood, he snaps and wins the fight.
You made me bleed my own blood.
Yeah, great movie.
It's a very good movie. It's not a sad movie, but it's still a great movie.
Yeah, it was. I think I just brought it up because we were talking about
Adam Baldwin, yeah.
But yeah, Radio Flyer. I'm getting drunk here. don't watch it. You know what I should do? I'm gonna live stream myself watching that movie, but I gotta wait till I'm good and drunk. I gotta start at 1.
That's
And then when you're kind of coming down from it, and you're real sad. So when I'm coming off the alcohol buzz, and then I watch Radio Flyer, and then I don't cry when I watch movies, but I'll have that look on my face like Mel Gibson in The Patriot or in any movie where he's really sad. He's the best at looking crushed.
Where either of his kids died.
Yeah, or like when they killed his wife.
His
in
wife,
Braveheart.
and then oh god, yeah, he has that look in his eye, like, and then you think he's gonna go. He has that same look though.
It's that devastated look in his eyes when he has to be around a Jewish person.
Oh, he does. You're right. He has that in the Lethal Weapon movies too. It's like he has the same look when he's like completely devastated. That's his thing.
Oh yeah, that scene that your brother.
Oh, with the guitar. Where he's going to put the gun in his mouth and stuff and kill himself because his wife is dead, but he can't do it, and he has just this devastated, crying look in his face. Those are classic movies, too.
They are. I got to somehow get your brother over here to talk about off-color stuff like that, little nuances of weird things that he picks up, because he's really good at it.
Yeah, I don't know why he hasn't been on the show yet. We're going to have to get him.
Yeah, we're definitely got to get him on.
He's got some great stories.
He does. He has fantastic stories. So there's a lot of people we can go to. So I'll never run out of content because I have a lot of friends. I thought about like today we'd call Morgoroth or something, but we had a chance to actually do a show with headphones and zero distractions. I just want to see how it sounds like our NPR version of Radio Underground.
I mean, I like the setup right now. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, well, I can hear. Yeah, I can hear everything you're saying.
Yeah,
we're not talking over each other, but we're not four people.
No,
and the other guys are great. Actually, they have better speaking voices than I do by a mile. It's just when there's four of us,
they have better voices.
We're all
than me.
trying to compete, but whatever, it works. The show works.
Are there any more sad movies you can think of? I'm sure there are, but we always used to talk about My Life being a really sad movie.
Very, very sad.
Because he's videotaping basically the end of his life for his child.
Yeah, so he has a relationship with him. Fuck, it was bad.
The fucking roller coaster.
Yeah, at the end, and then you think she's feeding the baby like applesauce, but it's him
because whatever the condition he has, the basically his brain is rotting away, his body is rotting away. He can't really do anything, so she's feeding him like a baby.
Yep, Nicole Kidman.
It was a good movie. It's very sad.
By the way, getting back to Elizabeth Shue just one more time.
Yeah, that's fine. Don't ever apologize for Elizabeth Shue.
When I was doing the pirate radio station, when Radio Underground was on FM illegally, I never wanted to ever meet listeners. And we had a decent amount of listeners. They would call in, and I got tempted one time. And the reason I got tempted, the girl, like I was talking, she was totally drunk, and we'd always get call-ins like, you need to come party with us, and I never would because no good can come with that because you'd want to hide who you are.
Yeah.
But then she's like, well, I said, well, what do you look like? I had her on the air. She's like, I look like Elizabeth Shue. I'm like, what? she's like, I've been told I look like Elizabeth Shue. I'm like, all right, where are you hanging out? And I started to get weak, and your brother was like, no.
I have a strict moral code. I will never, ever meet a listener I look like Elizabeth Shue. I'll see you later. I'm going to a party.
Yeah, I'm going to go expose myself to her, literally and metaphorically.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Because I'm telling you, if any girl that looks like Elizabeth Shue, you can have me. I'm telling you, I'm yours. Okay, if you look like her, I am yours.
I wonder I'm trying to think if there's any other ones that I really like. I was a big fan of Tia Carrere from Wayne's World.
Oh God, yeah.
Not to the point. Still, if I had to choose, it's going to sound stupid to a lot of people, but probably not to you. If I had to choose between the two, Elizabeth Shue and Tia Carrere, I'm taking Elizabeth Shue.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people will be like, that's nuts. No,
dude. Elizabeth Shue. The thing is, okay, it sounds like I'm saying a negative thing, but it's really a positive. I can't think of. I'm drunk. She's not so unbelievably gorgeous that you're like a super hot woman is almost off-putting in a way. Not off-putting, but you would. She has that she's the epitome of girl next door, but the best possible case of it.
She's incredibly good looking. She's not
Exactly.
She's not the hottest woman in the world, but she's incredibly good looking, and she's relatable, and she's possibly attainable, but it's somebody you could talk to that lives next door.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know.
So like my fantasy of her is it goes like this. She's a divorcee.
Yeah.
A girl that looks like Elizabeth Shue. It doesn't have to be her, but a girl that looks like that.
It'd be better if it was her.
It'd be perfect if it was her.
Yeah.
But she's divorced. And then she just needs a place real quick. So I got these little 800 square foot homes on my block.
Yeah.
So we get a lot of people that just. So she comes and I see someone. I see a U-Haul truck moving. She's got the brother. She's got like an overweight brother. Okay, so now overweight's not gross to her, so I'm not gross because her brother's overweight. He's helping her move stuff. She waves hi to me because I'm new to the neighborhood. My name's Elizabeth. So I say, I'll help you move stuff in. And then she blows me. That's my fantasy.
That's romantic.
Yeah, no. But
especially the ending part.
Yeah. She just blows me because I helped her move one couch.
Away with her kindness.
But seriously, man, she has that. It's completely delusional to think this, but she has that attainability, even though obviously Elizabeth Shue's not attainable. But in my mind, it is. That's what does it.
I get it. No, I get it. And that's the thing. I haven't seen her in a couple of years. So are we talking about her now or her then moving in now?
Well, how old is she? I'm 40.
She's 50.
I think she looked really good until recently. I don't know what she looks like present day, like as of now.
I have not seen her in quite a few years.
Now, if you're talking about older women that still look phenomenal, you're talking Kate Beckinsale. She fucking still looks great.
She's had a little bit of work done.
I don't fucking care.
And she's dating that guy from Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, oh God, I saw that. The guy with the Hillary tattoo.
Yeah, Elizabeth Shue still doesn't look bad.
Let me see. I'm going to mosey over there.
Let's see how old she is. She's 55.
Okay, so she's more older than me than I thought, but I don't fucking care. It's Elizabeth Shue.
This is her from last year.
Really, only the neck is aged.
Yeah, she's got a little bit of...
But they don't usually get the... I'm not trying to be cruel, the plastic surgery on the neck.
You can, though. I've looked into it.
I don't give a fuck. It's Elizabeth Shue. I'm fucking her. She wants it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a little graphic. The blow me part wasn't graphic. What I just said was graphic.
I think the point when she got to... I was going to say leaving Las Vegas, but even then, she was okay looking in that. She was kind of a little skanky in that.
Oh, I loved her in that because of the skanky.
And then she was in that movie, The Trigger Effect, where she showed her nipple, which I loved.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
What was she? Was she in? Was she in Hollow Man? Oh, she was in something.
I didn't watch
like that.
Hollow Man, so probably. See, I'm not going to lie and say I'm this huge fan of her work.
No,
I'm a fan of how she looked.
I'm just trying to figure out when I stopped thinking about her looks as much.
Yeah,
but I think it's probably late '80s, mid to late '80s Shue that did it for me.
Yeah, well, dude, Karate Kid, man. Here I am. Again, Roseville Theater. I go up there. It came on, 84, 85?
Yeah.
So I'm 7 or 8 at that time. My older sister took me up there. And even then, before my balls dropped, before puberty, I'm like, oh my God, who's this gorgeous woman?
Yeah.
And then it just got worse. It got worse as age, and Cocktail came out, and and then it just kept going, and it got worse, and I would go back and see the Karate Kid, and then I would start jacking off.
Well,
I
kind of forgot how much I had a crush on her, and then same thing, went back and watched movies with the kids, and Karate Kid. They wanted to see the old Karate Kid. They don't like the new Karate Kid. They're smart.
No.
They like the old
Jaden.
ones. Yeah.
Even the Hillary Swank one was terrible.
I still maintain it was better than the Jaden Smith movie.
Oh, it definitely was better than that.
Only because at that time Hillary Swank had big boobs. Before she lost all the weight.
Yeah, she hadn't starved herself, and
but
she was very cute back then.
The Elizabeth Shue from the Karate Kid. So my kids, this sounds really bad, but my kids helped me reconnect with my crush on Elizabeth Shue because they wanted to watch the first Karate Kid, and then my wife loves Adventures in Babysitting, loves it. It's like one of her favorite movies.
Great movie.
And they made a Disney version of it that sucked, but I'm like, this sucks. Let's watch the real one, and we watched the real one. I'm like, yeah, Elizabeth Shue. And then Cocktail. I didn't watch Cocktail with the kids. That'd have been weird.
I love Cocktail.
So yeah, I want to thank my children for me reestablishing my crush on Elizabeth Shue. Thanks, kids.
So that's thank you, kids. That's awesome. Now, one thing that the Cocktail movie that came out in I think 88 or something.
I believe it was.
But I didn't go to the theater. It was R-rated. I couldn't see it at the theater. So I didn't see Cocktail till it was like on HBO, and I was later. So this is a different death spit. Now I'm post-puberty.
Yeah.
So now I see Elizabeth Shue. Now the carnal lust version of me sees her, not just the fascinated by her beauty me.
Mm-hmm.
But now you got both, really, both those two worlds. And I don't know, man. To this day, man, if I see a girl that has that fucking, Adventures in Babysitting, that trench, not the trench coat, what's that, like that tan colored coat she's wearing?
She
wore that the whole movie. She had that same coat on.
Yeah.
If I see a girl with that fucking tan colored coat, she doesn't even have to look like Elizabeth Shue.
Triggered.
It could be a freaking girl it could be a black girl or an Arab girl in a hijab, but if she has that coat, I think of Elizabeth Shue.
Wow.
I'm telling you.
I think yours might be a little bit more deep than mine.
And then I cut myself. No, no, it's pretty bad.
Cutting is funny.
Yeah, it's so good.
So what were we talking about though? Sad movies.
We went way off topic.
We're way off topic.
Bad.
We were at sad movies. I can't think of any other sad movies off the top of my head. I can think of movies that I liked a lot and then all of a sudden didn't like, but I'm having trouble with sad movies. Because I probably watched them once and I'm not watching that again. That was sad.
Yeah, well, there's sad movies.
Forrest Gump's pretty sad.
Yeah,
But I watched that's.
It's not. But the whole point of it isn't sad.
It's supposed to be inspiring. It's sadness, and it helps to inspire. Blah blah blah. AIDS,
and it's kind of the mix of life has no point, but then it kind of does. It's like the mix of maybe a little of both. He says that at the end.
Yeah.
So maybe it's there's no direction, but it kind of happens. But maybe there's some direction to life. It's a great movie.
Philadelphia was a sad movie, but I only saw it once.
I never watched that movie.
That was kind of sad.
I'm absolutely sad. He's dying of AIDS, and he lost his job because he was basically gay and had AIDS.
Yeah, and then same thing. He basically starts rotting away. So yeah, it was pretty sad.
Yeah.
Saving Private Ryan had some sad. It was obviously a sad movie.
Yeah.
Because it was war.
Very sad. Yeah.
But I don't remember being really sad at that opening 30 minutes where they're on the battle on the beach and stuff.
Well, and you're kind of going into it prepared, because in that we all had World War II vets in our life at that time.
Yeah, I knew it was going to happen,
and we knew how we all knew what fucking Omaha Beach was. We knew it was going to be a meat grinder. Going in and seeing it, veterans to this day say that is the most accurate depiction of war. Still,
I saw the movie in theaters. It was one of the movies I went and saw by myself because screw people, I want to be by myself. And there was vets, World War II vets in the theater. And the movie itself to me obviously wasn't sad. What was sad was those 80-year-old men were in the theater with me, and they were crying watching it, reliving it.
Yeah, they can't. It's probably not a good idea for them to watch that.
I mean, two of them stood up and clapped at the end of the movie. It was they liked the movie a lot, but it was weird. There was 10 people in the theater at this point, and two.
Yeah, I don't know. I probably would have fucking cried.
They were sad. It was.
I don't cry often, but seeing them cry would have gotten to me.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever cried in a movie. I've laughed at a person crying at a movie.
Oh, Rambo.
Yes,
Rambo, was it 4?
It was the fourth one. I don't know if they call it Rambo 4 or they just call it Rambo.
2008 it came out.
Yes.
So we go to the theater. And I don't. You were just on fire that night. I don't for like
It was bad.
We were like, we go to walk into the theater and it's like fucking 10 degrees, and you didn't have a coat on, but you didn't want to. First, it started out like, "You're cold, aren't you?" He's like, "No, I'm fine." And you're like holding your, and you're like walking faster. "No, I'm fine." I'm like, "You're fucking cold. Why don't you put your coat on?" So it starts out with you denying that you're cold.
I forgot about that.
And then and then we go in, and then the fucking village raid scene starts.
Well, it was me, you, Kojak, and Warmonger, or was it me, you? No, Frank Kojak wasn't there, was he? It was
is me, you, Warmonger, Bob,
and Tom. Did Tom go?
Tom
with us?
Roberts? Was
Yeah.
it Tom Roberts?
I swear, maybe he did.
Because at the time, Craig was out in Utah.
Yeah, so I think Tom was with us.
Yeah, so it was Tom, me, you, Bob. We're missing somebody. I don't know. We went and saw it.
Either way, but I was sitting next to Warmonger.
We were watching that movie with a war veteran, and he was laughing.
Yeah, an Iraq war vet, and he was laughing at most of it. But
because that's not realistic war. That's like pro wrestling war.
Well, at one point where, like you said, the village raid and the Burmese army, or I don't remember what army it was, pulls up and they're setting fire to all the huts, and one of them grabs a child from the mother's arms,
like a 2-year-old,
and throws the baby into the burning building. And this lady in front of us, she's not directly in front of me, she's like in front and over 2 seats, and she's crying at this scene. And I am just laughing so hard at her.
He's laughing, and I'm trying not to laugh because she's like,
she was straight up like bawling at one point. She was so sad.
But I could see
by
why
this fake movie.
I could see why someone that is emotional would be.
Maybe she just had a kid and she was having all the hormones and everything. I don't know, but I could not stop laughing at her. And I had 2 kids at this point.
You
this was 2008.
Laughing.
I had 2 children, and this lady laughing at the death of a child just it humored me so much. I don't know what it was. I laughed really hard at that lady.
It was, and then it gets to like later on in the film, and then like kind of underneath all the huts that are elevated out of the mud, like 10 feet up in the air, they have the hog pen, and then Pine looks at me and he goes, "Starved hogs." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Starved hogs." I'm like, "What are you?" Because I never heard of it. Like, what are you talking about? He goes,
"Yeah,
they starve the hogs so they eat people." And then the next scene, the guy's legs are gone from being ate up by the hogs.
Yeah, I don't remember what book it was. It was one of the Hannibal.
I didn't know what a fucking starved hog.
It might have been Hannibal, which was the book that the second. It wasn't the second book. It was the second Anthony Hopkins Hannibal Lecter movie, I believe. Hannibal. And I started reading the book. I never finished it, but there was a point where somebody starved these pigs. They became feral, and then they started eating people that they'd placed in the pen.
Well, they'll eat anything.
After 2 weeks, they'll turn feral and start growing tusks, and they will eat anything.
Yep.
And that's what happened in this movie. They starved the hogs.
But I didn't know that at the time. I didn't know anything about that. And I was like, what the fuck are you
I just wanted to lay
about?
some background so people don't think these are the kind of things I'm thinking about is starving hogs to feed people. I didn't just like come up with this during the movie. I had some.
It was an epiphany. You had it was a reality.
But I was, as matter of fact, plain as day, starved hogs in the middle of the theater.
But at the end of the movie, where Rambo picks up the 50 cal and just starts fucking making meat of people.
Yeah.
Our buddy Bob, who's the war veteran, he was like laughing so hard.
He loved it.
He goes, look at there's meat everywhere.
That was a particularly gory scene. I had trouble saying that word. I'm not even drunk.
They're just fucking legs and parts and just.
And then Rambo outran the bomb.
Yeah, he ran out the World War II like mini nuke.
He outran, like he started running before it went off, obviously, but he was running downhill. I guess that helped him out, but he basically I have trouble with that. Other than that, the movie was.
Oh, it was a great movie.
That was excellent.
Because the whole point of seeing a movie is to be entertained. For entertainment's sake, that's a great movie. And the next one he puts out, I'm definitely we're going.
That's this year.
We're going.
I think it's November or something.
I haven't been to a movie theater. The last movie I saw I went with Evil E because he lives out in Howell and we're here. We met halfway at the Novi.
Imagine?
Yeah, Novi Imagine.
Yeah.
And we saw that the second 300 movie, the one with Eva Green with the huge.
I have not even seen that yet.
Gorgeous tits.
She's a good looking woman.
Fucking babe. Just a.
I don't think I saw
dime.
that one, but that was a long time ago. So you haven't seen a movie in a long time.
Yeah.
That's
the last time I went to a theater.
Is that like 5 years ago?
At least.
Oh my God.
And I went there and I had a horrible hangover because I went out the night before with Bob.
Yeah.
And we made the plans to go because I had like a week off work. I took a week off because if like they'll pay us for like if we have a week of unused vacation, we'll get paid for that. But anything past a week, you just lose it if you don't use it.
Okay.
So like say I get 4 weeks a year.
Mm-hmm.
Say I only use 3 weeks, I'm fine because they'll pay me for that week. But it was like getting close. And
They
I had
only
like,
pay for the week. So if
yeah,
you
I
have
had
2
like
weeks
10
left,
days left or something. Shit.
Yeah, I got you.
And so I just took a fucking week off just to do it.
Sounds awesome.
And so I fucking went out one night because Bob worked an odd shift type job, swing shift. So we went out. And then I fucking drove with a hangover there and watched that. And I didn't even know who, at that time, I didn't know who Eva Green was.
You knew after that, though.
And I was like, ooh, another borderline obsession. That one didn't last long, though.
Yeah, it didn't stand the test of time.
It didn't do the Elizabeth Shue.
No.
Even the Gal Gadot, I joked about Gal Gadot maybe replacing Shue. Not really, because I haven't thought about her a whole lot since, like, she kind of made the fucking Wonder Woman movie, and I saw that, and then it kind of waned after like a year.
Yeah. And plus, you have so much time till the next one comes out.
Exactly. So it's still Elizabeth Shue right now. Still.
Elizabeth Shue for life.
Absolutely. So, anyway.
I keep on wanting to talk about sad movies, but honestly, I can't think about more. I could talk about movies in general all night, but
Oh, yeah.
I can't think of any more sad
I'm not
movies.
a movie buff like you are at all, but I have certain, I guess, niches that I enjoy. Tastes. Or I'm really opinionated. I'm not a master of anything. I just have strong opinions about things I don't know anything about. That's my thing. I know about the Kojak's real bad about this. He weighs in on things and says nothing. I'm like that too.
Well, at least you have something to say.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like I said, we could record this whole thing and I could just talk about movies all night, but
No, that's fine.
I can't think of any sad movies.
No.
You want to talk about VR?
Yeah, sure.
Nice segue.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to talk about this next subject?
That has nothing to do with what we were talking about?
You ever watched a movie using a virtual reality headset?
Not a movie, but my dad of all people has a VR headset. Not a expensive or nice one.
Just when you put your cell phone in?
Like a
Yeah.
like a $50 whatever. And there's like a roller coaster video.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about, yes.
And and it looked cool. But I've never done like VR, you know, like the hard and I'm kind of looking into the sales numbers, its growth. It's not really catching on.
It's not, and it's not like it's a new technology.
No,
it's been around mainstream for 20 years. And that's not a joke. It just has not caught on. Well,
we call it VR, but like the military just wears it for like attack helicopters and shit. They just that's what they're wearing.
Well,
right?
this goes back as far as it wasn't regular Nintendo. Maybe it was Super Nintendo or even Nintendo 64. But they have the Virtual Boy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I never played that, but yeah.
I didn't either. But apparently, it was a big pile of crap back then.
I got to give props to Microsoft because they usually get caught up in gimmicky shit. You know, the Kinect. and the whatever Cortana and all this. Like we're gonna rival this and that. They're like they saw like where it was going because part of the reason that the One X is so powerful was like, we're going to build a VR unit, ready unit. And then they kind of looked at it like, nah, we don't. And they just released another statement again, like, we're not looking into VR. We're not doing it. Well, PlayStation does it, but
I kind of understand as far as the Kinect. When Kinect happened, and I have one, it's still hooked up to my Xbox. I've never unhooked it.
I don't need the NSA to see me fucking whacking off.
I don't usually do that in front of my Xbox, but it's in a different room. That's why. But it was like cool because you could basically use hand movements to like control your DVD player, do whatever. It was pretty. I was like, yeah, this is pretty cool. And then like an hour later, I was over it.
Yeah.
Cortana made sense a little bit because it was basically they were trying to do a Siri thing,
or like what's the Amazon one?
Alexa. So they were trying to do something like that, something that was going to be on your Xbox, your Windows Phone, your PC. It was supposed to be a cross-platform thing. I get it.
Yeah.
It was a little gimmicky. It was kind of a rip-off of some of the other stuff, but you're right. The virtual reality they really never got into.
No, they backed out because there's a lot of things that there's a lot of harsh criticisms of Microsoft that are 100% valid, and I'm not in my fucking fanboy character right now. It's 100% valid, a lot of things people say.
Yeah.
But they've learned from a lot of their mistakes, and they're like, all right, we're going to be a streaming service. Mm-hmm. We're going to be streamlined in that. We're not going to deviate that. We're not going to worry about VR. We're not going to worry about all this other shit. PlayStation has a VR, and I know people that are hardcore like PlayStation people, and even Steam, Valve, people use their headset, the VR headsets. Nobody's really that into it. Nobody's like, oh God, you got to try it. I've never had one person tell me, anecdotal completely, but I've never had. I know a lot of gamers though. I talk to a lot of people all over the world. I'm in chat forums. I'm on fucking wherever, and nobody is like telling me, "Hey, you got to do VR." No one. So I'm not gonna do it.
I'm gonna. This isn't me. This is me. These aren't my points. These are someone else's points, but they're valid points. The reason it hasn't caught on is one, price. It's cheaper than it's ever been, but still, if you want a good rig, a good unit, $500. You can get Oculus and stuff. You can get someone cheaper, but then you still have to pay for software. You can get some for $200. If you want a good quality one,
and you get a good video card.
So one, price, average price $500. Two, they're not light. Like they're not like putting on a set of headphones. Some of them are a little. They're still kind of cumbersome.
They
a little bit.
Take up space. It looks like a fucking welder's head helmet.
3.
You look like a fucking welder.
3. The difference. If you're going to sit here and play a video game on your Xbox, you can do for an hour straight, not have a problem. But the problem with VR, they say for every half hour you do, you need to take a break, 15 minutes break. So if you want to play on your VR headset for an hour, you got to take half hour off somewhere along the line. So every 30 minutes, you're taking 15 minutes off.
And what's the fucking point?
Because you're going to either get, a headache, nausea.
Well,
I don't, you see in the movies, people are like, I'm going to go to my VR headset. And they're like doing all kinds of stuff. They're for hours doing battles and stuff. That is not realistic. It's not happening.
And I saw Reddit. I was kind of researching the cons of VR today, and I saw a Reddit discussion, and this dude said when he plays it too long, and there's a bunch of people like, oh yeah, he goes, the thread was started like, is anyone having this issue with VR? And I thought it was going to be a technical thing, and I read it, and all these guys were saying, you feel like for days after, I feel like the guy said, I feel like I'm in a VR when I'm not in VR. Like that weird feeling, that weird kind of vertigo or something. They were describing like they didn't say vertigo, but from what they were saying, because I'm a hypochondriac, I knew that they were talking about vertigo. I'm like, oh my God, they feel like shit's moving when it ain't and shit like that. Fuck that, dude. I'm not
Nope.
fucking with my brain that way. And even like smartphones, like you know how I'm on hey, dude, I'm as bad as any 15-year-old girl. I'm on my smartphone. I'm on my fucking Mac when I'm doing shit and I game. I'm always looking at the screen. I gotta
Always.
cut it down. I got to cut it down. I know, but even that has fucked my eyesight up. My eyesight is fucked, and I see like visual like hallucinations, not an actual hallucination, though, like a schizophrenic, but I see shit moving. I have weird issues just from doing that, neck issues from looking down at my phone. So you got it. VR is going to be 10 times that.
Way worse.
10
yes.
times that.
My son got the same one that you were talking about. Your dad has, where it's just a little headset you put your cell phone in, and the roller coaster thing was on there too. And I'm like, oh, check it out. I was maybe 20 seconds. I'm like, nope, I can't do this. I'm going to die if I keep doing this.
Yeah, it didn't have quite that effect on me, but I did feel like I was drunk when I took it off for about 30 seconds.
I have to take off. I wear eyeglasses all the time.
Yeah, I don't wear mine. I should.
So I have to take them off in order to put the headset on. So I'm not only seeing things really up close, I'm also seeing it blurry because I don't have my glasses on. And I think that's probably what got me. I was like, nope, I can't do it.
I think VR, as it is right now, is not viable because they have to improve it to a point where it's safe for the human brain and the ocular nerve and everything to handle it. We can't handle it right now.
And that's
I gotta pee again.
That was my next point. Is it ever going to be viable? Because you're talking, this is software that's been available to everybody for over 20 years now, and they still haven't come up with a way to keep it where it's not affecting your eyesight, your head, and stuff. So, will the VR headset ever be viable? I don't know. Yeah. He's talking to me from the bathroom. Apache helicopters. No, that's true, and but
the technology is not 20 years old; it's like 35 years old.
Yeah, and even those guys, though, they're not flying around he's talking about the Apache helicopters, and they wear headsets that are kind of mimic the same thing, but that's more than 20 years old. That's 35 years old, 40 years old, like Deathspit was saying.
Yeah,
it's but they don't fly around with those things on for 8 hours straight. They're doing it for a little while at a time, and then they're not, and then they are again. So if they haven't figured it out yet, I don't know if they're going to figure it out. You're just it's gonna be a short term thing, entertainment. You can watch something for a little while, but then you gotta take a break.
Yep, and there's certain things that,
and I'm not gonna pay $1,000 for that.
Well, there's certain things they cannot improve upon, no matter how hard they try. Now, again, we're going back into the military thing. I'm not trying to relate military to all things technological, but it is a very good precursor to all technology. Is always going to be military and porn, right? We were talking about that.
Yeah, like military and porn.
Killing people and fucking people. That's like our two main drivers as humans. And the B-52 bomber, they have tried to come up with a new bomber that's better than the B-52.
Yep.
Since they made that fucking thing.
Yep.
And they haven't built something that's more efficient, it can be produced quick enough, performance, it's still the best today.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be the road with VR. I mean, unless something drastic happens in the next few years, you're talking about it's been commercially available for that long, and they have not figured out all the different things. They're never going to. I don't think
some shit. To put it scientifically, some shit just don't work.
Exactly.
And the human brain has limitations. You know how they talk about like 60 frames a second, but they say the human brain can only see 30. I don't know the formula.
I don't know either. I know what you're saying.
But like we're only can handle like you'll see someone like you'll see a YouTube channel of a guy doing a video like with his whatever, he's in his kitchen cooking, and there's more detail that you see than if you were physically there.
because of the HD cameras.
Yeah, the HD, like, it don't need to be that clear, bro.
They did.
I don't like. I mean, Stone's. It's a point Stone's made.
Yes,
I don't like super ultra HD.
it's too much sometimes.
Yeah, it looks like
it
fucking,
moves weird. It's weird.
Yeah, it's dizzying.
Yeah.
It is actually dizzying.
Well, and I didn't see them because I wasn't going to waste my money. But many people saw the Hobbit movies, not the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, the Hobbit. Yeah,
the Hobbit movies in theaters. Peter Jackson filmed that shit at 48 frames per second, which people in the theater, most people aren't going to notice the difference. But those people that are hypersensitive to that stuff, there was people who started getting headaches and stuff watching the movies. It's just moving too quick. Their brain can't process it.
Yep, there are certain people. Like, I have a coworker. He's a young guy too, or young. Well, he's younger than us. He's not young. He's 32 or something, 34.
Yeah,
but he's like, because I was talking about, because I figured he like us has got to be into video games. I'm like, Adam, do you play video games? He goes, I stopped playing video games when I was a kid. I was like, okay, yeah, a lot of people do that because they get lives and they're not a fucking nerd like me. I understand. He's like, no. He goes, I loved them. He goes, after the certain point, like the 360 PS3 era, the games, the lights and the frames and everything, he goes, I get headaches and I get dizzy and I get vertigo. I can't. So from basically the PS3 360 era on, it was too much for him.
Wow, he's not epileptic or anything?
No, he doesn't have epilepsy.
Huh.
He just gets dizzy and he can't do it.
If I'm watching, like you were saying earlier about watching your screens and always on a screen, I get that way sometimes too, where I can't look at them anymore because I'm not looking at it like a TV. I'm not looking at a TV from 24 inches away. It's feet. It's 10 feet away.
Yeah.
My cell phone is here. It's less than 2 feet away, and I'm looking down at it most of the time. It's affecting the blood flow to your brain because your head's pointed down most of the time. It's what my chiropractor called. She called it tech neck, or she had another word for it. I can't remember what it was, but it's everybody has these neck issues now that come in to see her because they are all looking down at their screens constantly.
Yeah,
and that's not even as bad as the VR. VR is something that's magnified in your face with a fucking headset on.
Exactly. Another point, I listened to another podcast talk about this. I think it might have even been Rogan. But you're on a VR, okay, and say like your VR is just something very passive, just for the reality. They make it super high def, so you're just walking through a neighborhood in HD world, right?
Yeah.
So you're looking at a football on the ground that's 30 foot away in that world. But in your brain and your eye and your reality, it's, centimeters from your eye. But you're looking at it, so your eye expands and contracts at a certain point to look a certain distance. It's something we'll never notice. But now it's a virtual simulation of something that close, but you're really looking super close. And it just, that your brain is trying to, and it just cannot do it.
The thought of that, my eyes focusing and unfocusing and dilating, and it's making me get a headache thinking about it.
Yeah, so like looking at something 30 feet away in virtual world, your eye would focus a certain amount. But in reality, it's an inch, centimeters. It has to be terrible.
It gets to a point where you're too plugged in, and to me, that's it's a little too far. I don't want to sit there and watch something with a big, huge headset on my head with a screen how far is it from your face? 12 inches away from your face? I don't want to do that. It's too immersive.
Yeah. So even things like porn, and you talk about like virtual reality porn will be where it's at, right? That's where it's going to go.
Oh, it's definitely going there.
But
if it hasn't, I don't know.
Am I going to be like a steampunk like barbarian because am I going to just go back, I just want a regular girl.
I just want regular porn. I
want a regular girl, man. I'm weird.
It's we're too plugged in, and that's the other.
I think the only good plan to like depopulate the world would be virtual reality porn, but you have like sensors hooked up to you where it feels real.
Yeah.
So you're like, or maybe like or like you combine the virtual reality porn with some sort of sex bot. So you got like the bot,
yeah.
like the sex robot, or it's just maybe like a. I'm getting weird here, but maybe like just like the pussy and the butt of it, but it's like sits on your lap. It's like a joystick.
So it's not a full doll. It's
Yeah.
like portions of the doll.
Yeah, and then you just
That's
use,
actually creepier.
but
I get what you're saying.
Your eye sees the whole girl.
Okay.
And so, I don't know. When they come up with that and it's really good, that's when, like, we got 7 billion people on Earth. We're going to cut back to about 3 billion in about 100 years. We're going to cut it back. We're
Just thinking about that, though, it's like I want to check out the VR porn, but I have a feeling like, man, I'm going to get an instant migraine from that thing.
Yeah. Well, by the time, I'm 40 now. I don't know if I'll ever be able to enjoy it thoroughly.
So
My fucking drive's already going down.
I guess yeah. Well, that's actually, my drive's not going down. My chances are going down, I guess.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm still a pervert, but what I'm saying is, like, I'm not as virile as I was. I'm not, like, all day, every day thinking about it,
same thing.
Like, it's like...
Is that your libido?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I still have it, but, like, I have to, like, be around people, like, girls, to, like, get it back. But I don't think about it, like, alone, like I used to.
I think if it was in a VR environment, I would have more trouble performing, because I'm thinking, yeah, this is VR. Man, this thing's really heavy on my head. I don't know if I want to do this. I'd be overthinking the whole situation.
Yeah, my neck hurts.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd be able to perform.
I don't know, man.
I'll
find out, though, because I'm definitely going to try it.
So I guess the final question is virtual reality a flop? I guess it's not a flop because people are buying it. Not as many as they'd like.
Well,
it viable is the more important question.
Yeah. I don't think
I don't think
so.
it is yet.
No. It is selling because we're in a consumer society where people just buy shit.
Yep.
But the people I know who buy it, I'm not, again, anecdotal, but the people I know who buy it, they have the headset. I know guys that has I know a lot of people that have the PlayStation VR.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. They first get it, like, dude, it's great. A couple weeks later, how's the VR going, bro? What games? How's it? I don't really fuck with that much,
Yeah,
it's like it's like gimmicky, like the Kinect. I did the same thing. Like, I got the Kinect, yeah. Like I was playing that.
It had its moments, yeah.
Yeah, the Kinect Sports. I'm boxing, I'm doing it. But like again, it's 2 weeks. It's like, I guess it's everything with game technology.
Well,
like, I don't like the longest I've played a game recently, like really, like recently, like close, was Red Dead Redemption 2. I played it for about 6 weeks.
9 in a row. 9 episodes in a row we've talked about Red Dead Redemption.
But I'm just
I don't care. I'm just saying we're keeping the streak alive.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's the only like modern game that I played longer than 2 weeks or something. Like,
I was actually going to bring it up too, that game, only because you said something about the PlayStation VR. It's something like that. They're not pushing it on you. Like, hey, you got to check out this VR. Your friends aren't doing that. But if it's a good game like Red Dead Redemption, something that they'll push on and be like, you got to check out this game. It's so awesome. They don't do it with the VR. There's not the same kind of fanboy dumb thing going on.
Fanboyism.
Fanboyism.
I think that's the word.
Sure, it is now. But,
yeah, I don't see like the words on the streets about it.
No, I don't think so either.
I want to tell you another story real quick before I forget about it. I was at a restaurant up here, right at 12 and Groesbeck, a popular one.
Mm-hmm.
You know the one.
I know which one.
So I'm sitting there, and this is...
You can talk about the hot dogs?
No.
Okay.
No. I mean, not the hot dogs themselves. I'm talking about what happened. So I'm sitting there, and it was one of these weird things, and I think, again, we're talking about modern times, and you let things seep into your head and paranoia. Well, at least I do.
I do to a certain extent.
I'm sitting down, okay, and I'm eating my meal, and I look across. In my line of sight is a very pretty red-haired girl, and she's looking back at me. So I made eye contact, and I'm no player. I've never been. I'm nothing special to look at.
He's not a player, and he does not crush a lot.
No, not at all. So I'm looking at her, and I've got a good look at her. She's looking at me, and okay, eye contact. I'll look away because I'm not there to make anyone look uncomfortable. She was out of my league, like an 8. She looked like that chick, that Sophie Turner that plays the Stark girl.
Yeah.
Really attractive, red-haired girl.
I've seen her before, yeah.
So I'm just going to eat my food, and then I looked over again. She's looking at me again. So that's 2 eye contacts. That's generally good.
Yes.
So multiple eye contact is good. I finished my meal up, and I'd say 4 or 5 times I'm the eye contact. I'm like, okay. She gets up to pay for her meal. She's very classy dressed. I'm saying there's a college, and then there's a school, a high school. She looks like a teacher to me.
Okay.
That kind of really classy dressed, not at all provocative, just a very classy dressed, nice looking woman. Very, very pretty.
Okay.
She makes the point to come by because I was kind of by the register where you pay, but she walks out of her way to kind of stand away from it, to do I'm going to stand here and make him talk to me.
Uh-oh.
Okay. But here's my typical paranoia. Here's where I fail in life. I look at her and I notice she's not wearing high heels. She's wearing the woman's dress shoes, kind of like your mom or aunt would wear, that the black dress shoes that got the little bow where the arch of the foot is. Yeah. Like a dress shoe, but she's not in heels.
Not in heels.
And she is well over 6 foot tall.
Oh, wow.
6'1" or 2.
Wow. Oh, no. It just dawned on me.
Okay. And I'm looking at her, and I'm like, okay, she's really pretty, but she's, about 6'2". Them hands look pretty big. Not ridiculously big, but big.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look. She probably thought I was trying to look at her ass, but I was trying to get a look. I'm looking for clavicle width.
Yeah,
because that's the thing. Clavicle width is a big indicator.
You can look up a little bit and see an Adam's apple. That would help.
And I was just trying to look, and my mom watches that jazz chick.
Yeah, on TLC.
Yeah, and I'm just paranoid about it. And the thing is, because I'm only 98% sure that this is a cis woman. Yeah, I just totally just kept eating. I was like, and this poor girl is probably a total normal girl that's just really tall.
She's really tall,
but
really
I'm just so scared about that. Transphobic, I guess. Not that I care that people do that.
No,
I don't
it's
think
just not your thing.
Yeah, you're not going. I don't believe you're going to hell or anything like that. I don't think you're evil. I don't even think you're a bad person. But it's just not my flavor. So because of that particular taste that I don't have, I just went back to eating. And this poor girl is like, she's probably thinking, I can't even get a fat guy anymore.
She's actually just a really tall, good-looking, red-haired woman.
Yeah, exactly.
And
dude, I'm 99.9% sure that was a total chick. But because I was looking at the height, and I'm looking at the hand size, just a big girl. But I'm telling you, no exaggeration, she's a legit 8 of 10, way out of my league, hot. Very, very classy dressed, just a teacher. I bet she is a teacher at that high school. Had to been.
I'll find out. I know some people.
And I'm looking at this girl, I'm like, dude. Well, there was another indicator, though. She's there alone. Now, granted, I'm there alone, but I'm a loser.
What time of the day was it?
Right after work, 4:30. I left work and went right there to eat.
She could have finished her teaching and went to get something to eat before she went back for basketball practice. She's a coach.
Something. I don't know. But she was looking at me. And and that was weird because she was sizing me up, and But the male eagle's a fragile one, and I'm 5'10" in shoes, and she's fucking
6'2" in flats.
Yeah, I mean, so even if she was, I don't know, man, it wouldn't have worked. But she was really cute, really fucking cute.
She sounds hot.
She is. She looked like that fucking Sophie Turner girl.
That's insane, man.
Very elegant, very pretty, classy look. Not like the whore look, like a classy. But she might have been a man, maybe.
Well, man, now I gotta know. I'm gonna do some investigating.
But I'm like, well, the only
I don't know what kind of investigating I could do, but
that just shows the absolute lack of confidence I might. Any good-looking woman that wants me is a man. Something's wrong with her.
Yeah, and again, you weren't being transphobic. You were just saying that's not your thing.
It's not my thing.
Okay.
No, dude, hey, they're having a good time, man. It was like I went to a dragon meetup here.
Yeah.
And the guy, we had a waiter, not a waitress.
Yes.
Totally, just a cool dude. We're just joking back and forth. And
I know who you're talking about.
And you were there.
Yeah.
And I said, again, here I go, forgetting people are there. But I said, because I don't like strong beers. Like some of you guys are into darker beers and tougher shit.
Yeah.
I drink like a girl. I like weak shit. Well, actually, I like light beer. I said, give me the most feminine, weakest thing you got. And he goes, I'm right here.
Yeah, that's right.
He was a gay guy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, dude, I didn't. And he's like, it's cool. And he's like, but I said, you guys are having a better time. The thing is, they're having a better time than we are.
They're having fun.
I go, you got a boat, don't you? I go, every gay guy I've ever met's got a boat. He goes, I do.
Yeah, I know.
You guys are out there on that fucking boat having a good time where I'm home fucking bored.
I want what you got.
Yeah,
Just
I want the boat, but
the boat part.
I want girls, but I want a boat.
I forgot about that. The whole boat thing. That was a good night.
I read a study where gay men their income is way higher than ours. On average, they're
really?
Successful. Yeah, they got everything. They got boats. They got money. They got it all.
Wow.
They just don't have chicks. That's what I want, and I can't get that.
Man, I want to know about this redhead at that place you went to.
It was weird. Multiple eye contact. I would say 4 to 5 eye contacts. Any bar in America, that's good odds.
Is there any chance that she thought maybe she recognized you from somewhere else?
Probably. I put it this way. She was good enough looking where in any other scenario, I would never assume that she would want me. And I'm not trying to say that to belittle myself. I'm just being honest. She was cute.
Huh.
And I'm not totally gross, but I wasn't like her. She was very classy. I could see her with a business guy, like a handsome 6'4" guy with he's got his shit together. Maybe one little gray streak of gray hair through the one side.
Gray and white hair is very respectable.
Yeah, like a guy that's got some money and some shit. That would seem like her type of guy.
I got
like Don Draper.
Oh,
would
yeah.
be her type of guy. I would see her with a Don Draper.
Yeah.
Type of guy. Not me.
I do know some teachers in the area at most of the schools, and also I know some people at the local college. I'm going to ask them, I swear I am, and see if that rings a bell with any of them.
It's my cousin, and you say my full name, blah, blah, said she was on his dick.
He's like, go to Dairy Queen and ask somebody if they know who you are.
I can tell that story.
No, I don't know if you want to right now. That's a good story, though. You know what? You talked about having an episode where people just tell their awesome stories. Save that for that, because that's a good story.
The cringe stories?
The cringe stories.
Cringe story? Yeah, we'll do that, too.
There was one other thing we had talking about. What was it? Oh, kind of an addendum to something we've talked about before. The Xbox Live.
Yeah, supposedly, we talked about, Xbox Live going on Switch, because Nintendo USA and Microsoft are in the same town. They have a lot of mutual friends. They probably drink together, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, there's a setback in it.
A rumored setback.
And so supposedly Nintendo was all on board about putting Xbox Live on their shit, on their console. Why wouldn't they? Because their online is terrible.
Yeah.
because Xbox wasn't wanting anything out of it. Just like, hey, let us, because they just want to be on as many devices as possible. That's, I want my $10 a month. I don't care.
They want their 2 billion devices they wanted to be on or something.
Exactly.
Whatever it was.
But supposedly, like, Nintendo is getting, what do they call it, cold feet? Or
Second thoughts,
second
cold
thoughts,
feet.
yeah. And the rumor is that Xbox wanted something in return, which makes sense from a business standpoint. Like, okay, you're going to have our shit, but can you give us a little something? And Nintendo supposedly is having second thoughts, and I'm guessing that Xbox is like, well, why not give us this game, and we could put it in 4K on our badass console, and it'll look great. And Nintendo's, I don't know, it's one of those things where I think that, like, it can only work to a point, and it has to be Xbox just like, here, just put our Game Pass and all our shit on your console, and we'll just run it.
Yeah, because, I mean, I didn't see the same rumor you're talking about. The one I saw was initially they talked about when Xbox Live becomes part of the Switch, Game Pass would be part of it. And now in the last couple of weeks, they've kind of said that Xbox Live would be part of it, but Game Pass would not be part of it.
And that would be kind of pointless to put it on there in a way, because the whole thing is we're streaming. I guess it would be good for to play the titles you own, like you bought.
Yeah, but how many people on Switch are playing the same titles you're playing on Xbox?
The only benefit I could see to it is the vastly superior connectivity of, like, voice chat with your buddies or something.
Yeah, I guess that's about it.
Because Nintendo's the Switch, their online is particularly shitty. Not PS4 shitty, like shitty.
Really?
Because you have to have and even though I want everyone to clarify, I'm on my Switch every day now. I haven't even been playing my Xbox much.
Yeah, I saw you beat Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, I've been
yesterday.
playing the retro games.
Yeah, we've talked about that. That's
nightly.
all I play also on the Switch. Yeah.
Mario Bros. 1, 2, 3, Metroid, all of it. So I love it. I love the Switch. Nintendo, I love you guys. Mm-hmm. But your online is not good.
Not at all.
And you have to voice chat through an app on your phone. Where's my phone?
So you can't even do
it. You got to have a phone to have the app so you can voice chat. You can't do it on their console.
What?
You cannot voice chat on your Switch. You have to have an app on your phone to chat with whoever you're playing with.
So having the Xbox Live connectivity in that sense would make perfect sense.
And that's why they were probably like, yes, please, Phil Spencer, put your shit on here. Because they probably were like, we'll just use Xbox for a chat. If anything else, we got to chat.
Well, now I'm kind of wondering if the two rumors go hand in hand. Maybe initially they're all on board, and then when they kind of realized they couldn't do the Game Pass thing, then Nintendo started getting cold feet because they thought this was going to be a across-the-board type thing, and it's just one portion of the Xbox Live.
Yeah, I think it's that. I do.
Huh.
But who knows really what happens. It could be something. Now, as far as I know, it's still going down. It's just to what depth they go.
Yeah, and I know E3 is coming up. Is E3 this weekend or next weekend?
I don't know. It's coming up, though.
I think it's this coming week. But that's when they were supposed to make some of the announcements about that. So I guess we'll maybe on the next
we'll find
podcast.
out. And I think Xbox is just going to release their console family that they're coming out with. Scarlet.
You said that it was 3 tiers, right?
3 tiers. A streaming box comparable to a Roku.
Yes.
So you just plug it in your TV, and then it comes with a controller, and it streams everything. Even though it's the simplest base design, it's probably going to come out the latest because the cloud tech will come later.
It's not there yet. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they have a mid-tier, which is going to be supposedly the PS5 has a certain amount of teraflops. I don't know the specs. I'm not going to pretend I know. But their Xbox is starting mid-tier is going to be on par with the PS5. And then there's a super workhorse beast that's going to be beyond the PS5 and beyond that. And I think it's going to be really powerful, like super powerful. And,
really expensive, too.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. And the PS5 the PS5 and the mid-level Xbox Scarlet machine will be stronger than the One X. So the One X in about 2 years will not be the strongest console anymore. But Xbox is still going to have the strongest console. So they're going to have two that are going to be stronger than the One X soon.
I kind of like that lower option you were talking about with it's just a Roku type box with the streaming, and it's cheap.
If they get the cloud tech right on that,
yeah,
I can't see how it doesn't sell a lot of units, because say you got somebody at work that's like, I got people at work that's just like, well, I just want to play some games and I just want to whatever. Like, if you get the Game Pass, again, like 100, I've mentioned this before. Even up till a year ago, if someone came up to me and said, "Hey, dude, I just want to start playing games," like, what should I start? I said PS4, because the PS4 is simple user interface. Just here, you plug in, play, you go.
Mm-hmm.
But with Game Pass, if that streaming box were here right now, where you could get Game Pass and just plug in, I would probably tell them, "Here, just do this. You don't have to invest a lot of money, $10 a month. Here you go. You're good."
Yeah. It'd be just like paying for Netflix or something.
Now PS4 has better single player, exclusives, obviously.
Yeah.
Now a family person, again, like it's all depending on the person. But at one time, I always just said PS4 is a good baseline. Now I don't know, and especially with the Switch being as fun as I'm having on it, if somebody's got kids, I'm like, dude, get a Switch.
Yeah.
If you got children, like little ones, not like teenagers. If you got kids that are like, I wouldn't say you got kids that are like 12 to 15. Switch, up to that point, Switch is great.
My 12-year-old likes it a lot more than my 15-year-old does. But
exactly. But when they're,
my 37-year-old likes it a lot too.
Yeah. But when you get when you're getting into the, like, I want to play Call of Duty, I want to pwn some noobs, I want to call people, I want to question people's sexuality because they beat me at a game, and say I fornicated with their mother, well, then it's time for a PS4 or an Xbox.
Yeah.
And
I would say Xbox only because the online's better.
Yeah, Xbox, like, again, we've discussed this a million times on this podcast. The Xbox is the bro console. You and your bros want to jam, get an Xbox. You like single-player games, but you want a good visuals. You want some a unique experience that, a unique experience that everyone likes. You get a PS4. You got a family. You want portability. You want to be able to take especially someone who travels a lot. If you're a traveler, Switch.
Travel, absolutely.
Get a fucking Switch. It's the best thing you can do.
Dim.
But it went dim again. I'm trying to think of another point we wanted to talk about. Is there anything else?
I think that might have been all we had talked about.
This is all we set out to do. We're closing in on 2 hours.
I thought there was one more point I was going to make, but again, my mind.
I hit everything I wanted to. I want to fuck Elizabeth Shue.
Yeah.
VR isn't that good.
Yet. It could get better. Blah, blah, blah.
A really attractive possible tranny looked at me, but maybe she's not. I don't know. And I'll call her a she. I'll play that game. You're a she, whoever you are.
I have some investigating to do on that.
Even if you're a guy, you're a she because you look like one to me. I'll play your game. I'll play that
If
game.
It looks like a woman.
Yeah. Hey, a mouth is a wet place. No. All right.
No, I think that was it for me.
All right.
Oh,
man.
did you tell everybody what's happening in 2 weeks?
Oh, we got to go over that real quick.
Real quick.
We are going to have pure bedlam. This is our NPR Radio Underground, just me and him. It's real quiet.
This is
the first time we've done a show with mic stands and headphones. But we got a very special event coming up. There's going to be pure opposite of this, pure noise and chaos. We got Deathry driving up from Kentucky, making the 8-hour drive up here. His arch rival, who he hates, Morgoroth, is doing the 4-hour flight from Las Vegas. And Evil E is going to do his hour ride from where he lives to here. So we're going to have a lot of people that have never been here that have always been kind of part of Radio Underground back in the day when we were a FM pirate broadcast. So we're going to have a lot of people, and I'm probably just to mix it up, Warmonger will be, I just have everybody here. It's going to be crazy.
Oh my God, I didn't know about Warmonger. That's going to be nuts.
We're just going to have, it's going to be pure bedlam, 2 weeks.
Yes.
Everybody.
We'll be recording it in 2 weeks. You'll hear it the day after 2 weeks.
I'm always wondering if I should just use the Zoom, just the main mic, and just...
And just pick up everything?
Yeah, because I don't know, man.
I don't know how. Yeah, but then you do that, and all of a sudden everybody's going to be all civilized, because, well, not civilized. They can't be civilized.
No, it's going to be bad.
But
it's going to be good, and it's going to be really good.
My only worry would be
way.
that you're not going to have any detail. You're not going to know who's saying what. So maybe you just have a couple mics set up across the room.
I don't know. I guess what I could do...
Like Howard
Stern does. What I'm going to have to do, I guess I'm going to have to be the moderator, but actually be a moderator, not just like let everyone go. I'm going to stop, like stop people.
Yeah, because Deathry and Morgroth are going to do some shit talking at each other. Give them their chance to do their back and forth.
So here's the players.
Yes.
You got Kojak, who never shuts up.
Ever.
Matt, who's very insightful, but also doesn't shut up.
Matt talks a lot.
But it's good talk.
It's good talk. It absolutely.
It actually, I don't know what I would do without him.
I miss him a little bit tonight.
Yeah, for sure. Me and you.
I miss Kojak too. I mean.
Yeah, well, I miss Kojak too. If I don't have someone to yell at, I don't look good.
Okay, so Kojak.
So and it's me, you. So that's our normal 4. Then we got Deathry, who's 5, Morgoth, who's 6, Evil E, who's 7. And then Warmonger, who's 8.
I'm going to try to get Craig over here.
So we have 9. It's going to be wild. You know what, though? We can always do a laid-back thing like this. You can't pass up opportunity to just fucking go nuts.
No, now when people are making special plans.
Yeah, just let it be
flying
what
in.
It fucking is. We got 4 mics. I'll just make sure that each mic has the long cable, not a short cable, and just fucking pass it around.
Yeah,
that's all we can do.
I think that's the best thing to do. It's just Mike in the whole room is just going to be utter chaos.
No, we'll just have mics and we'll pass them around. I'm sure a couple of them will get broke. Good thing they're only $15.
So
I only got one good mic.
That'll be a very special 11th episode.
It'll be good.
I can't wait.
All right, we're out of here, guys.
Peace.
See you next week.
Recorded in the pits of Detroit, Michigan.